Hello everyone, my name is Lorthorn and welcome to this how-to for Reliquary Reincarnations, a mod by Pepperfly for Minecraft version 1.20.1 Java Edition and Forge, not NeoForge just yet. Right, Reliquary. What is Reliquary? Reliquary is a mod with many magical items to help you in your Minecraft world. To further put it, it is a mod based around harvesting the base game creatures, getting weird random objects out of them, and turning them into incredibly powerful magic items. I never really quite realized just how strong Reliquary is, so in this how-to I'm going to show you how powerful it is. The magical artifacts, the relics you can make, require you to get these items as I said earlier. Each item is a rare drop from one of the different base game mobs. So the zombie heart is gone from the zombie, the squid beak is gone from the squid, ribs is gone from the skeleton, catalyzation glands gone from creeper, teeth are gone from the spider, slime pearl gone from the slime, bat wing from the bat, withered rib from the wither skeleton, molten core from magma cube or blaze, eye of the storm from a charged creeper, frozen core from a snowman, nebulous heart from an enderman, guardian spike from the guardian, and the witch's hat from the witch. Almost all these items have pretty large amount of application except for the Guardian Spike, but don't really worry about that too much. It's best to seek out the parts for the items you want. So let's look at these items. The first item we want to look at is Magicbane. Magicbane, because it increases the drop chance of getting the item. Zombie heart, rather rare. You do get from a zombie, but it doesn't drop all the time. You can increase that chance with Magicbane. Magicbane being made with an iron ingot and a gold ingot and 2 nebulous hearts. So a bit of a large investment off the start, requiring you to kill quite a few endermen. But if you can get a Magicbane, then you can get higher chance of reliquary drops. On top of that, Magicbane has a very cool power, which is its strength is increased for each enchantment on it. At a base, that is 1 damage per enchantment, so with Unbreaking 1 on Magicbane, it now deals 6 damage and has looting 2 because it's a golden weapon. If we throw sharpness on it, that is 7 damage, plus 1 from the sharpness, plus 1 from being an enchantment. And then that can go all the way to the top to a whopping 27 damage if we have all these enchantments on, making this one of the most powerful items you can get. And is actually not even that out of place in a Minecraft game. The balance of power in Reliquary is pretty good until you start abusing it, such as in this case here, but I kind of like that where it feels balanced until you start messing around with things. One of the other very powerful items you can get off the get-go, in some respects and other respects not so much, are the charms. Charms require a lot of work to make, but they feel very basic, although relatively they aren't. It's a strange thing. The charm is if you kill a monster a lot, then you can get a charm. The zombie charm is made with 6 zombie hearts and 2 rotten flesh, 1 bone fragment. So very expensive, especially considering you need 6 charm fragments, a leather, and a piece of string to actually make the charm. But once you have the charm, zombies cannot see you while you have it. It means they will quite literally not interact with you. So as long as we have the charm in our inventory, the zombies will not attack us. We can dance around them and they will just not care. We can even strike them and they will continue to wander around, rather confused about the whole situation. Now, charm has about 80 durability. If you kill the creature the charm is based on, then it will damage the charm. So there is a price to be paid for the charm. Basically, you kill the monster until you don't want to kill it anymore, or you take it out of your inventory for planning to farm a lot of zombies, because it could suck a lot to go through all the work of making this charm and then having it break basically immediately. You can slightly circumnavigate this though by killing the zombie with fire damage. We're at 78 here, and if he burns to death, we'll still stay at the 78, although we won't get that increased drop chance with this item. So it is a bit of this and that. Already up to 4 zombie hearts, but down to 76 durability. So you can make a charm of any mob in the game, including modded mobs added in that aren't base game. However, those might be a little bit hard to get as their drops won't quite be there recipe-wise, so you'll just have to rely on finding their charms in chests. That being said, charms could clog up your inventory after a certain point, given how many different mobs there are. And for charm management, you will want to make the charm belt. The charm belt is made with 5 charm fragments of any kind and 3 leather. And what this lets you do is you can put charms into it. And as long as you have it in your belt slot with baubles, then it will give you charms and be a nice fashion piece. So to put the charms in it, you just right click with it, then you can put the charms into the belt, and it can hold basically infinite amount of charms in it. It holds all the mob charms. These are, I think, the basic items, both Magicbane, getting these things, and making the charms. It does get a little bit more complicated from here on out as, well, we have basic monster bits. We actually want to combine these basic monster bits to get better bits for better items. There's a whole bunch of different combinations to create the better items. So, to create the Kraken Shell fragment, we require 3 squid beaks and 1 slime pearl, and that will give us this new useless item, which is a crafting ingredient. It does nothing on its own, but will be crafted into other items, and there are many items in this mod pack like that. Another one of these items is a Fertile Essence. Fertile Essence is made with slime pearl, green dye, rib bone, and canalization gland. This is another item, does nothing until it's crafting, such as the rest of these will be. So the Infernal Claw is made with a molten core, leather, rib, and slime pearl. Crimson Cloth is made with 2 nebulous hearts, 1 red wool, and 1 black wool. It currently only has 1 item it turns into though, so don't be too concerned with crafting this one all that much. Void Tear is a usable item in some ways. It keeps almost unlimited amounts of one item type. It is crafted with slime pearl, lapis lazuli, nebulous heart, and gas tear. Now, if at any point you want extra information on the mod and you have JEI, you can press R on the item and then click on its information tab with just enough items, and it will tell you a little bit more about the item, making it slightly easier for you to use or tell you things about you didn't know. The Void Tear not only is a useful ingredient, it also allows you to keep almost unlimited amounts of one item. Now that is about 1024 of that item, but it is still quite a few. To put the items into it, you simply right click with it and it will take the items you have the most of and put them inside it. That being wool, so those items will be put into my inventory. I can change the mode of the Void Tear with the scroll wheel. If I scroll to fill, it will automatically fill up my inventory with the stored items in the stack. If I switch to empty, it will empty out all of the items in my inventory. If I have it on stack, it will have but 1 stack of the items in my inventory, making sure to keep them topped up. It's a rather strange organizational item, but some may find it useful. I find it rather confusing to use though, so I would prefer not to have it at all. The first of these new items to craft does not involve the Void Tear, nor does it actually involve any of the special things we just made, but it does use the Witch's Hat, Molten Core, Eye of the Storm, Slime Pearl, Canalization Gland, Teeth, Wither Skeleton Skull, and a Nebulous Heart, as well as a book. And that is the Tome of Alkahestry. This item here is a magical item which converts certain blocks into other blocks, allowing you to clone things. It operates a bit like the Tear, and it can auto-absorb things if you hold down Shift and right-click and turn on its auto-absorb mode, and then it will consume blocks automatically to power itself. The blocks that it eats are redstone, glowstone, and their powders, each one giving it about 1 to its stack durability. It can then clone various different items, such as iron, gold, diamonds, or nether stars. Each one has its own price, and how you clone it is you put the tome into the crafting table with the required amount of power. Currently, the Tome of Alkahestry doesn't have enough to even duplicate iron. We need a few more powers into it. It requires 32. So if we pump a huge amount of redstone into it, using all these redstone blocks with its auto-absorb, we'll send it all the way up to 6,000 as durability. Then with these two together, we can then clone our iron, or we can take the redstone out of it using it as a redstone storage device. So we can also see with all this power in it, we can clone the gold as well. The gold being slightly more expensive to clone, then diamonds being very expensive to clone. They will take a large chunk of power out of it, but that gives us extra diamonds to work with, which is amazing. And then finally, the nether star can be cloned as well, but that will go through most of the power we have in here, being quite expensive. But being able to clone them for 256 redstone is very, very strong. Our next item allows you to mass produce glowstone in the overworld without having to go to the nether. This requires obsidian, redstone lamp, nebulous heart, and canalization gland to make the altar of light. The altar of light is then powered with redstone. How it works is you put down the altar of light, then you pump 3 redstone into it.
Well, it is in direct sunlight.
And the idea behind this is using the tome as well. You can slowly get power back, as this will produce 1 block of glowstone. Then if you were to harvest it with a silk touch and convert it back into power, that would give you 4 redstone, so it will slowly give you a profit, which you could probably automate in some crazy way at a very slow rate if you are so inclined. The next relic is the Cross of Mercy, one of the poster childs of this mod. It is an undead slaying cross which has looting attached to it and is just cool to wield across as a weapon. The Cross of Mercy requires a rib bone, a withered rib, a withered skull, a zombie heart, 4 gold, and a piece of leather to create, but once you have it, it is very good at slaying undead. Taking out a zombie in just 2 hits and causing this sort of blast as well while you're at it. The Angel Heart Vial prevents you from dying. It is made with milk, infernal claws, 2 fertility essence, and 5 glass panels. As long as it's in your inventory, it will stop you from dying once. It has several advantages to this, which is one of them is it stacks, and the other is you don't actually have to have it in your offhand or hand, it just has to be in your inventory. And as stated, as long as it's there, it will stop you from dying once. So the vial breaks instead of us dying. Angelic Feather is made with Feather, Nebulous Heart, Batwing, and Fertility Essence, and this gives you a jump boost of 2. It also makes it so you don't take fall damage as long as you have hunger. Instead of taking the fall damage, that will be converted into burning away your hunger instead if you have this in your inventory. At a pretty good exchange rate as well. Aphrodite's Serum is made with Fertility Essence, Red Wool Dye, Cocoa Beans, water, and 5 glass, and this will make animals breed. So you just throw it at them and you will get some new cows. More useful the larger that cupboard is, giving you quite a few animals at once. The Apothecary's Mortar can be made with a whole lot of quartz and quite a few catalyzation glands. Once put down, you can put items into it to get potion essences. Each potion's essence has its own way to craft it. If we take 1 coal and 1 leather and we put it in and then we start slapping it, that will give us Essence of Absorption. And we can see that the Essence of Absorption has quite a few different ways to go about making it. Potion essences by themselves do nothing. However, if you create the Apothecary's Cauldron using 2 Infernal Claws, 3 Nebulous Hearts, 2 Catalyzation Glands, and 1 Molten Core, as well as a cauldron, you can then put that under a source of fire and add some water to it. Then you can throw your essences in. This will start the potion up, and as normal, the potion will require another wart to be added into the mix, and then you can take the potion out and it'll tell you exactly what kind of potion it is. However, to take these potions out isn't as straightforward as a bottle, for we are going to be using the condensed potion vial. Condensed potion vial is 5 glass, will give us the condensed potion vial, and the whole idea behind this is we can hold stacks of this vial in our inventory, letting us hold quite a few of the potions on 1 stack. If you wish to make it gunpowdery, then add gunpowder into the process. After you've added in your nether wart, we can throw that in and make a splash potion. And if we want to make it lingering, we can add Dragon's Breath, and then you collect it just the same with the potion vial, and this will make it a lingering potion. Now, one of the big advantages of potion essences is, well, you can go through that whole process to make potions. It also makes combining potions quite easily, as you can combine essences together. If I put an invisibility essence into the mixture to create the absorption, then I'll make absorption and invisibility essence. And then the advantage to this is once you have these potions made, it can make more combinations than the normal potions would allow you to make, thus allowing you to make combination arrowhead types with the arrow tips. Still, I'm not usually concerned with potions, but that's the main idea behind essences, is you can combine them and then get even more arrow tip types in unusual and different ways. The Infernal Tear is crafted with the Void Tear, Witch's Hat, Molten Core, and Infernal Claw. Shift right clicking on this will absorb whatever item you have most of on the whitelist and convert it into experience. Now, as it says under the information, the items that can absorb are the items that can be crafted using the Alkahestry Tome. So even though we happen to have 32 blocks of redstone and 64 amethyst, it is not going to absorb those, as those are not items that can be created with the tome. But if we happen to have gold, it can turn that gold into experience for us. To activate the tier, it has a two-step process of you have to right-click with it to surround it flame, and then shift right-click with it to start absorbing the item. Our next item requires an emerald, a gold, a bucket, and a void tier, and this is the Emperor's Chalice. The Emperor's Chalice's special ability is its infinite source of water. You can place as much water as you like with it. If you shift right-click with it, it can then absorb water when it's in its glowing state. It has unlimited water and can also be used to drink. This is used to convert health into hunger. So it is best to be avoided in most situations unless you're quite low on hunger and want to do some sort of weird regeneration and hack abuse. The Ender Staff is crafted with an Eye of Ender, 2 bat wings, 1 void tier, 2 nebulous hearts, and a stick. And this gives you the Ender Staff, which does require Ender Pearls to operate. But if it has Ender Pearls inside it, which can be automatically absorbed by pressing shift right click with it to turn on auto absorb, then it has several different modes of which it can go through if you scroll with the scroll wheel. The normal Ender Pearl throws the Ender Pearl and allows you to teleport with it. The Eye mode fires it in a straight line with no fall off. Node teleportation allows you to teleport to a node. However, that requires you to have a node already set up. A teleportation node is a relatively simple thing to create. It only requires a nebulous heart and a emerald, and this will give you the Wraith node. The Wraith node can then be placed in the world, and you have to right click on it with the Wraith node setting on your bottom right activated through the scroll wheel. This will then bind it to that Wraith node, and you can see that location in the world with a shift while hovering over it. Once the staff is bound to a Wraith node, it cannot be bound to another Wraith node unless that last one is destroyed and is unbound. To unbind it, destroy the Wraith node, as stated earlier, and then attempt to teleport to a Wraith node. Once it is discovered the Wraith node no longer exists, it will then unbind from all Wraith nodes, and you can choose to bind it to a new Wraith node to teleport to that one. Potion of Fertility is crafted with Fertility Essence, Water, Green Dye, and Yellow Dye, and this makes it so crops will grow. It is a splash potion effect of bone meal, hitting several plants all at once when applied to them. Coin of Fortune is made with Bat's Wing, Gold Nugget, Nebulous Heart, and a Slime Pearl, and this coin allows you to vacuum items to you. If you hold down right click with it, it will suck up all nearby items and XP and bring them to you like a super vacuum. You can also shift right click to activate it, which will just draw things in towards you rather than instantly picking them up. Ice Magus Rod is made with 2 diamonds, a void tier, 1 iron ingot, and a frozen core, and this allows you to fire snowballs as a harmful weapon. You can make it automatically absorb snowballs by shift right clicking to turn on automatic absorption mode. Once you have the snowballs inside, they can then be fired with a right click. Unlike normal snowballs, these happen to deal knockback and 1 damage. Glow Water is created with a water bucket, glowstone dust, netherwort gunpowder, and 5 glass panels, and this will create a harmful potion of basically holy water to throw at undead. When thrown, it basically one-shots zombies in a splash effect, which is very, very powerful to undead enemy. Even the mighty Wither Skeleton gets one-shot by the magic power of the Glow Water. Glow Water can be upgraded into the Holy Hand Grenade of Antioch. This requires 1 Glow Water, 1 Gold Nugget, a piece of TNT, and a Catalization Gland. The Holy Hand Grenade of Antioch is a powerful explosion that does not break blocks or hurt the wielder. However, to throw it is a little bit tricky. To throw the Holy Hand Grenade of Antioch, one must. Sayest first, thou take out the holy pin, then thou shalt count to 3, and no more, no less. 3 shall be the number thou shalt count, and the number of counting shalt be 3. 4 shall not be the count, nor either count thou 2, except that thou then proceed to 3. 5 is right out. Once the number 3, being the third number, be reached, then lobbest thou thy holy hand grenade of Antioch towards thy foe, who, being naughty in my sight, shall snuff it. Amen. And so, 1, 2, 5. And thus the holy hand grenade of Antioch does snuff out thine enemy. Very powerful, not destroying blocks, and basically one-shotting most enemies it will come up against of a basic level. As we can see, it does 87 damage, so it almost takes out an Iron Golem in a single hit, making it a very, very powerful weapon and quite useful in most situations. Empty magazines can be crafted with 5 iron ingots, 1 piece of glass, and 2 pieces of stone. These can then be turned into a grip assembly that also requires a whole bunch more of iron and a magma cream. Then taking 2 nebulous hearts and a magma cream, as well as 6 iron ingots, 1 can make a barrel assembly. Then with a blaze rod, a molten core, a button, and a whole bunch more iron, 1 can make a hammer assembly. Then by putting the barrel assembly in the top left, the hammer assembly in the top right, a slime pearl in the middle, a grip assembly in the bottom, and 5 more iron, 1 can make the Hunter's Handgun. The Hunter's Handgun is completely useless unless it has ammo. Ammunition is crafted by combining 1 flint, 2 gold nuggets, and a piece of gunpowder to make a neutral shot. You then need to make 8 neutral shot and have an empty magazine ready, and when combined together, they shall make a neutral magazine. The neutral magazine can then be loaded into the gun by holding down right-click, thus loading them all into the handgun's barrel, giving you 8 neutral shots from that magazine and an empty magazine in your inventory. The bullets can then be fired by right-clicking with the gun, firing out a projectile and a little bit of flame. Dealing almost half its health in a single shot can take down a zombie in about 3 hits. Once out of ammo, you will be left with a bunch of empty casings, which can be recycled into golden nuggets. Then the weapon can be loaded once more, giving you yet another empty magazine, which is very useful as crafting those each time would be a right pain. You do not need to make just neutral shots, you can also make potion effects. If you take a lingering condensed potion and combine them with the bullets, you can then get bullets of the potion's kind. There are also specialized ammunition as well to fire, such as the concussive shot. The concussive shot is made instead of with flint, a slime ball, 2 gold nuggets, and gunpowder, and then you get the concussive shot. The concussive shot, when loaded up, fires small, explosive bullets that deal slightly higher damage. The sand shot will blind the target, making it so they cannot see, as well as dealing a decently high amount of damage. Seeking bullets will automatically seek out a target even if you completely miss. Exorcism shots, well, being a normal bullet to most enemies, will absolutely destroy undead. Blaze bullets will obviously light things on fire, as well as the ground. Ender bullets pierces multiple targets, in a chaining effect of teleportation and seeking out nearby enemies, thus making it basically a chain lightning bullet. Buster bullets basically is a bullet that fires TNT, causing a large explosion and a large amount of damage. Storm bullets deal extra damage during a rainstorm, and even more damage during a thunderstorm, shooting a target with lightning. Harvester's Rod is made with a Tear of the Void, rose bushes, 1 fertility essence, 2 vines, and a stick, and is charged with bone meal in your inventory. Holding shift right click will automatically make it absorb the bone meal. You can cycle through this staff mode to make it a hoe, make it plant seeds, or make it apply bone meal. Thus it is good for growing plants in a quick fashion while storing your bone meal for you, or it can harvest everything at once like a hoe can. Then replant and put back down the seeds. The pedestal can be crafted with white carpet, quartz blocks, quartz slabs, and 2 gold nuggets to make a pedestal for display only, allowing you to display and show off items. However, if you happen to combine it with 4 diamonds, you can make the pedestal not for display only, and this automates items. I find its main application for me is if you take the Rod of Harvesting, turn it onto bone meal mode and put it down, and then put a lever down next to the pestle to turn it on, it will automatically quickly grow wheat for you and then automatically go and harvest it. This will burn through bone meal relatively fast. However, you can add more bone meal manually to the staff, or you can attach a hopper to it and automate the process. Hero's Medallion is made with a Coin of Fortune, a Nebulous Heart, a Witch's Hat, and an Infernal Tear. The Hero's Medallion can be used to store your XP. Shift right-click clicking with it will automatically store your XP, putting it into the medallion for you, draining your own XP for later. You can then stop the automatic drain and right-click with it to give yourself back the levels, thus giving you a way to store your levels or transfer them to other people. Shears of Winter are made with a frozen core, shears, and 2 diamonds, and these allow you to harvest all the leaves in an area all at once. You simply hold down, right-click, and all the nearby leaves will be cut down and harvested. The nearby sheep will also suffer this fate. Infernal Claws is crafted with 3 Infernal Claw and 1 Slime Pearl. The Infernal Claw absorbs fire damage at the cost of hunger, making you take no fire damage, and instead you just lose hunger whenever you take those ticks for fire damage, as long as it's in your inventory. This, however, does not apply to lava. Lava will still hurt you, but the fire after you leave will not. The Infernal Chalice is crafted with the Emperor's Chalice, the Infernal Claws, Infernal Tear, and a Molten Core, and this acts as an infinite bucket for lava, being able to scoop up any amount of lava, as long as it's in its scooper mode. That is achieved by holding shift right click again with it, and you can put the lava down, making this a very useful bucket for recovering lost gear in the Nether. This item will also absorb lava damage in exchange for hunger. It is basically an upgraded version of the Infernal Claws. Flint and Steel, Molten Core, Catalyzing Gland, and an Infernal Tear will get you a Destruction Catalyst. The Destruction Catalyst is powered with gunpowder. Automatic absorption is done by holding down right-click with it, and it will store that gunpowder in it. This item will then destroy any neutral normal blocks right-clicked on at the cost of 1 gunpowder. Other blocks will not be affected, but the normal neutral blocks will absolutely be destroyed. This is mostly dirt, soil, and sands. Kraken Shell can be created with Nebulous Heart and 3 Kraken Shell fragments. Instead of taking drown damage, this will instead convert that into hunger loss, thus letting you stay underwater for a much longer period at the cost of your hunger. While underwater, it also gives you dark vision. 3 bread and 1 glow water will give you glowing bread. Glowing bread is incredibly useful in this mod pack as it recovers all of your hunger. It is also very fast to eat, and in combination with a backpack mod that automatically feeds you in this bread, you could basically be immune to most external damage types like falling, fire, lava, and drowning, which would be really good. 1 anvil, 2 gold blocks, 3 molten cores, 2 catalyzing glands, and a void tier will give you a Touchstone of Midas. The Touchstone of Midas consumes glowstone dust. In exchange for the glowstone dust, it will automatically repair golden equipment. Given that there is quite a few different golden equipments provided, such as the Cross of Mercy and Magicbane, this is actually a relatively useful item when at first it may appear not so useful. 1 Eye of Ender, 1 Molten Core, 1 Frozen Core, and 1 Nebulous Heart will create the Salamander's Eye. The Salamander's Eye dispels fireballs and reflects gas tears while you are holding it. It also puts out fires nearby. This is one of my favorite items as it very quickly allows you to clear up the cases of fire. However, to do this you have to be holding it in your hand, but so long as you are holding it, then it can put out all these fires in the area. Its other power is also incredible of completely negating blaze shots. Blazes can be one of the most annoying enemies in the game to face up against, and this item just completely negates their ability to harm you. On top of that, gas can be quite irritating, but given that it just reflects the fireball right back at them, it is an automatic way to kill off gas and also protect you, making it, I think, one of my favorite items of this mod from a pure utility standpoint, as going to the Nether is important in many other mods, and throwing this mod in and then getting the Salamander's Eye will basically make you immune to a lot of the annoyances of the Nether, which is honestly great. Rending Gale is crafted with Eye of the Storm, 2 bat wings, 1 void tier, 2 gold ingots, and a stick, and this gives you, I think, my favorite item in the entire mod pack, which allows you to fly at the cost of feathers. Like many of the other items, you hold down shift right click and turn on auto absorption mode, and this will suck up a whole bunch of the feathers. Then the staff has 3 different modes to go through. It has push, pull, and flight. Push is fairly obvious. It will, well held down, repel mobs away from you. Pull, much the same, will bring those mobs towards you. During a thunderstorm, it also has the ability of Bolt to call down a lightning strike onto a location. But I think the main purpose of Rending Gale is its flight mode. While holding down flight, it will launch you in the direction you're looking at and slowly burn through feathers. This does not make you immune to fall damage, but it also doesn't mean you'll instantly die throughout here, as you can fly low back down again and then come to a smoothish landing here. This is one of my favorite ways to fly in Minecraft that is not creative, for multiple reasons. 1, it's faster than normal flight, but 2, it is also risky and slightly more fun. It gives you a better experience of flying around that isn't just using the creative flight, which can be rather boring at times, really, especially in a mod all it offers you for a fight is the creative flight. That's not interesting, whereas this, you can actually almost play Quidditch with it, of trying to fly around and get through these skull holes. I don't think that's how Quidditch is played, but let's say it is. Rod of Lyssa is made with a Infernal Claw, a Bat's Wing, a Nebulous Heart, and a Fishing Rod, and this allows you to pull items towards you and pickpocket goods off creatures. This item reel-in is useful if you don't happen to have the key. If you have a stack of items scattered on the ground and you want to collect many of them all at once, then you throw out the rod and it'll gather them all together and then drag them to you. If you want to pickpocket an item off an entity, let's say a skeleton with its bow, then we hold down shift and we throw out the rod, and then we can yank its weapon off it as well, thus disarming the skeleton. Sojourner Staff is made with a molten core, a golden ingot, 1 blaze rod, and a tear of the void, and this allows you to place torches at a distance. It has to have torches inside it, of course, but once you have the automatic torch absorption on, you can then right-click a surface and it'll put a torch on it as long as you have a torch in your inventory. It can place these torches at exceptionally long distances, but it will cost more torches the farther it is to place them. Witherless Rose is crafted with 4 nether stars, 1 rose bush, and a fertility essence. Easy enough to get if you use the Akasgil Tome to get your extra roses, and then it protects you from withering as long as you have it in your inventory. This, however, does not make you immune to the skeleton's damage, so it's only partly useful in that regard. The Lantern of Paranoia is crafted with 3 iron ingots, 1 slime pearl, 1 blaze core, and 2 pieces of glass, and this automatically places torches all around you. You shift right click it to activate it, and then there will never be darkness again as long as you have torches available. By taking Salamander Eye, Infernal Tear, Infernal Claw, and a Blaze Rod, you can craft the Pyromancer Staff. The Pyromancer Staff gives you the powers of both the Salamander's Eye and the Infernal Staff, 2 of its components. This can be turned on off by holding down shift right click. This is important in case you want to light things on fire and don't want them automatically being put out with the flint and steel setting. If charged with blaze powder and fire charges, it will be able to fire 2 different things. With the blaze shot, it will fire ordinary blaze shot at the target, lighting things on fire. With the fire charge inside, it will fire a gas charge which will explode. You can also set it to erupt mode, which will cause a fire eruption to go off at the area you are looking at. Serpent Staff is crafted with an Eye of Ender, the Spider Fangs, 1 Kraken Shell fragment, and a stick, and this prevents hostile mobs from attacking you, as well as dealing poison damage if you hit them with its slime balls. Now, the high slowness and the reducing of hostility is a pretty powerful effect on this staff, making so monsters cannot attack you if they've been hit by it. And if they don't have their effect applied to them, it can also drain life from a creature by hitting them with the staff and stealing its life force that way. Only 200 durability though, making it rather an expensive item to wield. It can be enchanted with the various enchantments such as Mending and Unbreaking though, to increase that durability and make it last a little bit longer under your usage. Glacial Staff is made with the Ice Magus Rod, Void Tear, Frozen Core, and Shears of Winter. This staff also holds snowballs for firing, but has a few other effects as well. It fires the snowballs as the other one did, dealing slightly more damage, but it also has the ability, if toggled, to freeze ice if it's close enough to you. The ice unfreezes once you walk away. thus giving you the frost walking effect, so you can walk on ice, always having it freeze underneath you, and then go away once you leave. This effect also applies with lava. Once toggled on, it will turn the lava to obsidian and allow you to cross it safely. The Twilight Cloak requires 3 crimson cloth, 4 black wool, and 2 pieces of iron, and is one of the few items we wear. It is put onto the body slot. It does not physically appear on us, however, in sufficient darkness, it will turn us invisible if it is turned on while we're wearing it. To turn it on, we actually have to take it out for inventory, then hold down Shift, right click, and that will turn it on. Then we throw it onto ourselves, and if we are in sufficient darkness, it will make us invisible. Our items, though, remain visible to all eyes to see. It does not give you the visible particle effects, however, making you a little bit more invisible than the normal invisibility. It also has an extra effect, which is mobs will not target you, as they do not know where you are. Whoop. Whoop. Oh no, I'm visible. What will I do? Very useful. And finally, the items we can use in our inventory, we have Phoenix Down. Phoenix Down is a combination of Angelic Feather and 4 Heart Vials, and this is basically a craftable Totem of the Undying. Resurrects you once with full health and reverts back to Angelic Feather. Now this also says that it gives you the bonuses of the Angelic Feather. That being, it gives you the jump boost that the Angelic Feather offers, which it does do, and should also convert fall damage into hunger for us. However, what I've noticed is if you take enough fall damage to die, then it won't mitigate the damage through taking out all your hunger. It will just kill you, revert back to Angelic Feather, and protect you at the expense of your experience. And this is because these items will not burn the resource if it can't save you. However, in this case, it seems like a bit of a bug that it doesn't burn the hunger, because I think you could survive actually from that fall distance, all things considered. So the Phoenix Feather seems a little buggy to me when it comes to absorbing that fall damage. It doesn't seem to do it fully as it could. Our last 2 items are some of my favorite items, especially the Interdiction Torch. The Interdiction Torch is made with Batswing, Blaze Rod, Nebulous Heart, and a Molten Core, and this will give you 1 Interdiction Torch. This lights up the area around it, but also has an extra effect, which is it creates a bubble of force which repels all monsters. This includes if they're coming at you from above, it will launch them away, and you can set them up in several locations, continuously repelling the monsters away, thus making monster-free zones. You can make a barrier with them, or you can set them up everywhere and create just general monster no-go zones. Very cool magic item. One of my favorite items of all time, the Interdiction Torch. And our final item is the Lily Pad of Fertility. The Lily Pad of Fertility is a lily pad and 3 fertility essence combined together, and what it does is when placed down in water, it will make all the nearby plants grow just that little bit faster. So we can compare the speed right away here with them growing one versus the other. And that is a Reliquary, one of my favorite mods of all time. I barely ever use it, but it has some very cool features, very little things, very minor things that are just nice to have. And I like the Holy Hand Grenade. The Monty Python reference is always fun. The Magicbane is cool. Actually learning more about it, because it's always there in the background. It's like, oh, Reliquary, I could play with that, and then you ignore it. But it's actually such a powerful mod. But it also feels balanced at the same time. It sort of hits that nice balance. It is very abusable. Mind you, that is very abusable, but it's abusable in the right kind of ways. And it's overpowered in the right kinds of ways. It's not going to make you deal 2,000 damage, but you can deal huge amounts of damage with that hand grenade, and even with this Magicbane at maximum level, that 27 damage, that's nice. But that's not the absurd 100 damage, and you have to work hard to get it. You have to really work hard to get it to this 27 damage. And all the items have their own place and their own costs, and it just has this nice feel to it. I really like Reliquary. It's a very nice mod. It can break your game, but in a certain level of power pack, it is just nice to have, honestly. And it never feels totally broken. So check out Reliquary. I think it's one of my favorite mods, even though I've rarely played with it. Just having it there, it's nice to know it's there. Everything in it looks pretty. Like, Reliquary's always been a gorgeous mod, and every version of it, this being the Resurrection, looks nice, but almost every version of it just looks absolutely gorgeous. All the different items, all the different effects are very cool. And I think, yeah, next mods pack that I play with, if I ever get around to playing with a mod pack again, I might add Reliquary to it, because tickles that urge of weird extra magic that so many other mods seem to slightly miss. And yeah, it just might be worthwhile having. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you to my patron Blushfeather, you're awesome. And as always, until next time, goodbye.